Hey guys, so long time no see. When I started this YouTube channel, when I started making content, my original intention was to make videos every 2 weeks if I could. And I wanted to stick by that as much as I can. Obviously, that hasn't really been the case for the last 2 months. I forgot to vlog at TwitchCon because I left my GoPro in my hotel room. But the other reason that I haven't really been putting out videos is because I haven't really been inspired to make videos on things. And I hope you guys don't take that wrong, but what I mean by it is when I make videos and I want to post something on YouTube, I want to make sure that you guys know that I'm very passionate about it and I'm not just trying to push out content. But I want to do a year review raves edition. So this isn't going to be like my previous rave video that I have put up, my opinion on raves, but if you do want to see it, I'm going to link it here. Now this video isn't going to be like my opinion on raves video. I'm not going to go into full breakdowns, and I'm just going to kind of cover what I've been to, my favorites, my least favorites, and then what I'm looking forward to going to next year. But if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and yeah, we'll get started. So this year in raves and events, I wanted to make it a little bit different than the previous year. So in 2017, it was more of, I want to go to everything I can, explore what I like, and then try to hone in on that. And so I went to a lot of things in 2017, and I tried to dial it back in 2018, but it seems like I really didn't. I ended up going to 7 things, 8 counting Decadence that I'll be going to at New Year's. But they were all really fun. My focus for next year will be a little bit different, but I'll get into that later in the video. So the events that I went to in 2018 include OMFG, I went to EDC, Zed in the Park, Sun-Soaked, Hard Summer, All My Friends, Escape, and Day of the Dead. And I will, in December, be going to Decadence in Arizona, so that will top off the list. So there was a mix of small events and big events in there, and so I guess this was more of another fine-tuning year, but I really got a lot of perspective from this year, and so I'm ready to go into 2018 with kind of a more centralized view. So I'm gonna start off with my favorite event that I've been to in 2018, and that has to be EDC. I made a whole review about it. I was completely blown away at the production value and how well it was run, at least in my opinion. The people I was with were amazing. The experience was really great, and I honestly walked into EDC not really having any expectations of it. I heard it was fun, but I also heard a lot of bad things about it, and everything was completely just, I was so impressed, and I was so happy because I have heard all these negative things, and even those people who told me those things and went said, wow, EDC has improved so much. So I would have to give that to the top spot. It was amazing. It's in my top 3 festivals that I've ever been to. So since EDC did take the top spot, I do want to say a few honorable mentions, and I guess it's kind of hard because I only went to 7 things, but there was a lot of really, really great festivals that I went to this year. And so the first runner-up would have to be Sun-Soaked. So Sun-Soaked is put on by Cascade, and it was over in July in Long Beach, on the beach. So if you guys have seen Cascade play at a concert or a festival and played his sets, the overall general vibe that I get, at least, is very jumpy and happy and just like celebrating life, and I definitely felt that at this festival. The one criticism that I do have for it, that was probably a main reason it didn't take my top list, is that it needed more shade, and also that the beer line was over an hour long, which, yeah, sometimes like you can't really do anything about that, but there was only 2 places to get beer if I remember correctly, and one was VIP, so that one's kind of off limits for people, and then there was the main line. But when you're standing there and the sun is reflecting off the sand, it gets a little hot. But maybe if they added a couple more shaded areas, they used to have these canopies that didn't shade completely, but just shaded sunlight, which was really nice. And so I mean, that could be added if anything, but I had such a fun time. It really didn't matter. Even when it was hot, I was like, I'm loving this is great, and I had a great time. So I'm definitely looking forward to going next year and experiencing it again. The second runner-up, in my opinion, would be Escape. So if you guys did watch my rave review and opinions video, you would know that I have Escape listed as the worst event I have ever been to back in 2016, I want to say. So this is another reason why it's so high, because I walked into Escape with absolutely no expectations. When I went 2 years ago, I had a really bad time. I just was like, okay, I'm gonna do clean slate and see how it goes. I did only go Friday, and then I flew to TwitchCon on Saturday, so I can't comment on the entire event because I wasn't there. But the art pieces, the stage design, and also just the stage layouts were so much better than they were 2 years ago. And I was very, very impressed with the sets being performed, what they had around. They had so many things that you can go do. They had little shops. All the water and all the food and the bathrooms were clean and spread out. It was really nice. So one of my definite highlights was actually Factory 93, which is kind of like the trance/house stage that they had. The whole stage was covered in lasers. It wasn't just the front. And I was only there for maybe an hour, but I had so much fun there. And it really just made me a very happy girl. One of the things that I commented on in the other video was that they made the stages very hard to get to, and so everyone would just be really crowded and running into each other. But this time, they made it more of a fluid pathway, and so you can go from stage to stage to stage without having to cross a lot of people. So that was a plus. And then, of course, like I say, with pretty much all the events that I like, I had a great group of people that I spent time with. So, you know, that makes or breaks your experience, IMO. One criticism I would have for Escape, when I was leaving, they funneled you out basically all to one exit, and if you were taking Uber, you had to walk about a mile down to go get into the Uber lot before calling your Uber. Now, I don't really have a problem with that because I understand you kind of want to get away from the venue, but the Uber area was extremely disorganized. It took us over an hour and a half to get an Uber for 2 miles, and in hindsight, we should have walked. And I'm really mad we didn't, but it was ridiculous. And the Wi-Fi there didn't work, so it was really hard to call an Uber. And of course, that's, you know, kind of out of like my control and out of maybe the venue's control and all of that. Insomniac probably didn't run that specifically, but it was kind of a mess. There were some people there that were getting a little too tired, and that was probably my biggest criticism. But besides that, overall, really great event, and I am definitely interested in going again. And it redeemed my vision of Escape, which is 2 thumbs up. And then my last honorable mention is Hard Summer. So, like I said in the other video, I end up going to Hard Summer every single year, and I made a recap video for that as well, and it was so much fun. The lineup was amazing, the performers were amazing, the crowd was amazing, in my opinion, and I just had a lot of fun. You know, it was Hard Summer. I feel like I've never really had a bad time at Hard Summer, but this year they really popped off. Insomniac took over Hard Summer, and they did a great job, and I had so much fun. So really happy that I went this year, tons of fun. So going to my worst event of the year, and this actually may top my worst events. So the worst event that I went to in 2018 had to be Day of the Dead, and it's also another close tie with Zed in the Park. So it was at LA Historic Park, which I did go for Zed in the Park earlier that year, and it was just a mess when I went there originally. There were so many people, the stage was right in the middle, and so you couldn't really space out, everyone just clumped together. The sound quality was horrible. I'm also not really that much of a Zed fan, so I might be kind of biased there, but the openers were kind of like iPod DJs. So what I mean by that is it seemed like they just had a playlist and they just pressed play. It didn't seem like they put any effort into their sets. But moving back to Day of the Dead, when I heard a lot of things about Day of the Dead before, I heard it was one of the most lit festivals of the year, that Hard did a really great job at putting it together. So even though the lineup was kind of iffy for me, I said I'll give it a try and we'll see how it goes. They did set the stage up a little bit better than they did the previous time as in the park. They actually had 2 stages, one that was at the very entrance and one that was at the far end, so people were separated. Some things I didn't like about it, the sound quality was a bit better, but it still wasn't that great. But I think my main problem was the lineup. And that sounds like really dumb to complain about, but listen, hear me out here. So for a one-day festival, I feel like it's maybe a little bit more suitable to focus it towards a couple EDM genres that are similar in senses, so you kind of get that same crowd. And if you only have 2 stages, this is more important to either focus on similar ones or at least 2 different ones and then distinct them at the stages. The smaller stage did have a lot of house. I saw Shiba San there, and the bigger one had just a mix of people. And I'm not saying that I wasn't excited to see some of the people. I saw Kashmir Cat, who I have been listening to since 2013, and I was really, really stoked to see him. But yeah, it was kind of like this just weird roller coaster of different genres that I personally didn't really like. So the flow of music was just kind of weird in my opinion, but maybe other people liked it. But for example, you have Kashmir Cat, who's more melodic, soft-tuned, and then you have a break. And then it's Knife Party. To credit Knife Party, who I thought had a great set, he started playing some softer songs at the beginning of the set and then eased into the dubstep, which is really hard to ease into dubstep, but he did a great job at it and ended off strong. And then after that, it was just a couple of really weird sets, and I didn't even end up staying for Justice because I was just kind of turned off by how everything was going. I don't know, it just like, what I really like about festivals is that stages are kind of allotted to certain genres to an extent. Obviously, that's not always the case, but it was just way too up and down. You could tell that there were different crowds of people that would come and then leave, and then come and then leave, and it just was weird. I just felt a really weird vibe from the whole thing, and on top of that, like I said, the sound wasn't that great, so maybe they'll fix that next year because I heard it was a really hype event, or it used to be, so maybe it'll return to that. The one good thing I do have to say about it, they had these really good Moscow mules that they were making, and they were 10 out of 10, but the line was also really short. We got let in very quickly, and so that was nice, but besides that, it was pretty much empty. I knew a lot of people that were selling their tickets. I knew a lot of people who passionately didn't want to go, and so it seemed like it was really empty. I don't think it ever sold out, so hopefully they can improve on that next year because it really wasn't fun, and we ended up leaving at 9:30. Event ended at 11. I mean, maybe I think that they need to find a different venue rather than LA Historic Park because of the noise ordinances and whatnot. But so there was a lot of great things that I did go to this year and some bad things, but I had a lot of fun and I'm really excited for Decadence. I've been out of the state technically for EDC, but this is the first event I will travel pretty far for, and so I'm excited for that, and so I'll update you guys on how that goes. But I just want to give you a look into my next year, and my theme for next year in events is going to be less is more. And what I mean by that is I want to go to less events, but I want to go to the ones that are bigger. Yeah, it seems like sometimes that's the progression. You just start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but these are some of the events that I wanted to go to for a very, very long time. And so right now it's looking like I will be going to Coachella, which will be my second time, and I'm really excited. I really, really, really want to go to Lollapalooza. I want to go to Electric Forest if I can. EDC is a possibility. Lightning in the Bottle is another one that's very, very top of my list. And then we'll see from there. But besides that, those are kind of the ones that I'm really focusing on. They're a couple days, and so it's not any more of these one-dayers. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited for the next year. If you guys have anything you would like me to review or anything about that, have any questions, want to talk about raves, feel free to sound off in the comments and I will reply to you guys as always. But that's about it for now. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully sooner than later, because I need to be inspired more. Bye!